step 1 of gearbox extraction and exploration. Take out the pin. That little piece until we can pull it out. Okay, now if we flip it over to this side, we should be able to pull this pin right here straight out. Well, in theory. This gun has seen a lot of wear and tear, so I would not be surprised if it did not come off right away. There. Here, we're going to stick this down that hole. There we go. As you can see, that pin is now out. We can pull it out. And what we're going to do, since this is one part, I'm going to set this cup right here. We're going to put those two pieces right in there. All right, now what you do is, when you have the gun, you just take this and you slide it off. In theory, once again. There we go. So you can see the gearbox right there. I will come back when I have the front part of the gun off, and we will no longer be needing this piece, so we will set it right down here with the rest of the larger pieces we do not need. If I can find them. It's the handle and the mag. Yep, here we are. So we will set these in the middle of the floor. Here, here, and here. All right, I will come back when I have the next. Okay, so now the next step will be to take the gearbox out of the pistol grip, which has the motor, and take all of this off so we can access in there. Okay, so we got first screw out, goes in right here, putting it in that. This is the rod that goes to that. So we will be sticking that in there. Now, I believe this piece and this piece are identical. So what we're going to do is we're going to put those all four in here. Now, let's see how the gearbox has been affected. It is still not budging, so we will see what is next on the agenda. So we have now taken off the stock, and when I took off the stock, this pin and this spring came out, and what these do is they hold the stock in place when you want to adjust. So, because these go to the stock, we're going to put them in a new cup. And these cups are just like your little fruit cup thingies, and I keep them because they're pretty useful for this. Now, what we're going to do is to access what is in there, we're going to take it off, and so we can get in there, and how we do that is by unscrewing that screw. I will be back once it is undone. Pieces there connecting. This was the screw holding it in, and this is the piece that was being held in by the screw. And we are going to put them in the container with the stock pieces. see what happens next. So I have discovered that to take off that tube, we must unscrew the screw that is down there. So we're going to unscrew that screw, and we're going to see where it goes next. So we have officially gotten that tube off. I think that is what is called the buffer tube. And what we're going to do is we're going to lay all these pieces out on the table, just like that. So there's the buffer tube. And here's the screw that was holding it in. Now, this screw goes into this side like that. And then, once that is out, this is where you're left with. Now, we have this piece hanging off here. I believe we can now take that off and place it with the buffer tube. Now, let's figure out what our next step is. I forgot to mention, since we have buffer tube pieces, which are, I'm going to consider different than the stock pieces, we are going to put these pieces in there, and that will go with the other big parts, as shown here. I've gone out of order on this. The next screw we have to undo is the magazine well screw. Okay, so now I am taking apart that right here, the magazine well push piece right here. To release, oh, it's the mag release, I'm sorry, I'm slow. Let's see here. Okay, I will be back when that's off. Okay, now it is off, and I'm going to take these pieces. It'll have the screw and the plastic piece in there. It's going to go into a cup as usual. Here's the spring, goes into the cup. Now, on the other side, we have the bolt that comes out like that. That's going to go in there. Now, maybe we can get it to move just a little bit. Does not appear so. Take out the motor. Now we're going to take out those two screws and see where we go from there. Okay, now we're going to pop out the last screw right here. There we go. It is popped out. Now, let's see. Once again, we're going to get a new cup. Put the first screw that we got in there. Take that one off. Now, did we just lose that screw? Like that. Okay. Well, it's going to go in this cup. I think we just lost that screw. Well, that is all right. We will see what we can do from there. We still have not found that other screw, but we did manage to get the motor out with the wires. So the red wire goes into that little bar right here. Let me focus it. That little bar right there next to the red in the center. So right here in the tip of my thumb. Same thing goes for right here, tip of my thumb, this bar. And here's the motor when it comes out. So we are going to put this on the table. We're not going to put it in with the other stuff because this is, I'm going to count this as part of the gearbox. Now, if we look down in there, there's two screws that each need to come out. And when those come out, hopefully we will manage to get the gearbox out. We're going to hope. I'll be back when that's done. Made a little bit of progress that I didn't do on camera. So I managed to get the gearbox out of the lower receiver by removing the body pin that I didn't realize was a thing. So there's that. I removed that piece that goes right here that kind of flip-flops back and forth, and I put these two pieces in the bolt box right there, and I also put the motor and its screws in there. And so we're gonna take apart the gearbox here pretty soon. I will come back when we do. We have the gearbox out. We're gonna go over what it looks like on the outside. So the two wires are going in right here and right here. The black one is on the far back and the red one is on the front. And the motor goes right into that hole. Trigger system is right here. Let's see how it goes. Perfectly stable. And then here are the two wires, red and black as usual. Now, these are both coming out of the same hole right there. The piston looks like that. There's the loop, all those screws. Here's the front nozzle. Alright. Let's see what we can do. Something that used to be right here, maybe a washer like that. Which we'll probably find later. Honestly, it's somewhere in my room. Screws here and here. Those are all going to be going in the same cup later. So let's take it apart and open up the face, and I will come back in a second. We put all of the gearbox screws and stuff in here. Now, bad thing just happened. When we opened that, everything went everywhere. So we're just gonna try to figure out what to do with everything. So here are the wires. Going to here, there's this swiveling thing. Not quite sure what this does yet. Okay. Let's see what, ooh, here, let's take this out. Okay. Alrighty. So here is that. And here's that. And we're gonna see if, yeah, I'll have it in the video so I can look back on it. Alright, we have a completely empty gearbox for the most part. And that is my semi-tutorial and or explanation of how to open a gearbox. I may or may not post a video on how to reassemble it. But by then hopefully I'll know more. Talk to you guys later.